Okay, so day 3, what are we doing?
Yes, we got a lot of wiring. We got inner fenders, outer fenders, core support, radiator. We got so much to do the next couple days and today. I know we're gonna be busy.
So the engine's in, so front end, wiring, shifter, some pedals maybe, or they're already in?
Wheels, tires, bleeding brakes, bleeding clutch.
All right, that's a lot. Let's get to it.
Let's go.
All right.
We're gonna start installing our core support at this time. All right, so pick your side up. I'm putting it in the factory location where it was, but you do have a series of other holes here, you know, where you can move it forward. That was a factory setup to where, you know, if it had the straight 6 in it, you know, that was a little bit longer versus the V8, you know, but also there was different radiator combinations, you know, your 2-row, your 3-row, and 4 rows, you know, where it got a little bit bigger. He's laughing at me. I don't know why. He thinks he's funny over there.
Hey!
Oh, sorry.
We're getting kicked.
Nobody's ever figured out how to make a muscle car look good with no front fenders. Like, you know, Model A's look great.
This is true.
So if you could figure out a way to make a Camaro look good with no front fenders on it, eliminate a couple steps.
Well, now that we're trying to put our driver's side inner fender well on, we're running into the problem where our Pro Charger is over a little further than we'd like it to be. Just so now we've got to make modifications to our inner fender well here to compensate, you know, for the big supercharger.
So we're going to use a Frostbite radiator on this thing. You ever seen the Frostbite? It's really nice piece of TIG aluminum. I'm actually kind of impressed with the beads they laid down here, and I know they do it by hand, so that's kind of cool. LS radiators, obviously suctions at the top, pressures below. A good way to tell it's LS is, of course, the smaller inlet here. We've also got a couple of fans, and then a fan shroud. This has actually got a cover on it, but it's all polished aluminum too. So there's a couple of holes you need to drill, but basically put the fan shroud on, mount the fans, wire them up to the ECU, and you're good to go.
This is something every LS swap has to deal with, is the radiator hoses. This one's a little bit more of a challenge because we have we're on each side instead of the typical with an LS swap where they're both on the passenger side. But that's why they make parts. We have these silicone hoses here, so we're gonna basically do this, and then Christian's we're gonna bridge the two with a piece of stainless, and we will be in like Flynn for the upper radiator hose. The lower is gonna be a little bit more challenging.
All right, so we're here at the chop saw, El Choppy. Gonna chop this sucker right here. We don't have a bead roller for our tube, and plus this stainless steel is way too thick. So I'm gonna put a couple beads on it in a bit with the welder. But first things first. Just like that. Come over here and you grind it down, nice and even. Deburr it. Come over here to the little grind wheel. Get all the little stuff inside the inner tube. There it goes. The other side was nice and clean, so let's go ahead and put those beads on.
Oh, I am making a mark so I can figure out, you know, my bracket here for the remote reservoir for the power steering.
So we're plumbing the Hydro Boost right now, and we need a reservoir tank. We need a reservoir tank not only for the Hydro Boost, but for the power steering system. And so we have this unit here from Eddie Motorsports. The nice thing about this tank is we can get whatever height we want. And let's just kind of guess like right about there, and just tighten this down. And now we can finish our plumbing of this out to the power steering pump and to the Hydro Boost. And we're golden.
All right, guys, so it may seem obvious, but don't rip the foil off. the can of brake fluid when you open it, the bottle in this case. If you push a little hole in there, you get control over how much brake fluid comes out. Otherwise, you're making a mess. And then don't forget, put a little hole above that so the air can get through.
All right, here we have our Terminator X computer for our EFI system from Holley. What I'm using is Velcro. They have these holes here for you to run either self-tappers or bolts and nuts, but we decided to go the easy route just in case we have to move anything, and then later down the road when they really want to mount it somewhere nice and make a bracket for it, they can. For now, it'll be in the area where it would end up.
Go up like that. Hold it, you got it?
All right, so Painless Pro Series comes with a lot of various extra circuits like door lock power, window power, which we don't have, and we don't have power locks, we don't have window locks. So all that is fused wiring to the fuse box, so I can actually use that for the EFI. And if anything were ever to happen, that fuse would pop before anything can happen to the unit.
Okay, go back.
Is your finger metric or standard?
Actually, it's like a crescent wrench. It's
It's
adjustable,
like
man.
Dinner is served.
Cooling system, something everybody has to deal with. You could get lucky and go down and dig through the AutoZone and find a hose that works, or you can come up and make something. We found some hosing, some stainless tube, cut it, and the biggest problem you run into is this one's really small compared to the other parts of the system, and so the hose is not very tight on here, but we think with the hose clamps we're going to do it, and we're really close to this belt, so that's something we're going to have to look at when we fire this up and make sure everything's going to stay good. But there you have it, we have an upper radiator hose.
Well, we're just moving right along like gangbusters over here, guys. We're gonna throw in our United Pacific LED tail lights. Basically, it's just your original bucket, your foam seal, fish that through. Make sure your foam seal doesn't fall through. Push it on in, feed it back through there. And start putting your hardware back on. It's pretty simple to install this stuff.
So this is the blower hat. Pretty simple. Compressed air goes in. This is a BOV, blow-off valve. I guess there's larger ones than that somehow, but the concept is when you lift, right, you got all this air moving. When you lift and slam the throttle shut, all that air needs to go somewhere. This thing opens. Takes care of that for you. What's this called? Front valence?
Lower valence.
Lower valence going on.
Watch us go. Hang on.
There's also
I've got to smash
creamy
and
yellow.
bend and pull and prod.
All right, so we're at the end of day 3. A lot of wiring, a lot of stuff's been done to the car. We're here at the board checking off a lot of stuff. So I'm feeling good. I think we're gonna go home, get some rest, and come back tomorrow and kick it off again.